Hi everyone, it's Bella back with another episode of the Faithful Draft podcast. Today we're going to be talking about my four top favorite movies. I know this has kind of been a trend for a while of people picking their top four. I know Letterboxd does it on the red carpet and stuff like that, but yeah, I just kind of want to tell everybody my four favorites now. Like just to let you know though, this isn't like in particular order, and I have a lot of favorite movies, so this was like very strategically picked. So yeah, there's that. So, and I'll get into it as like towards the end I'll get into like why I picked these, but for now, let's dive right in. So, the first movie is Adam's Rib. It's an old movie from like 1939, 1940, around that time. It's a lawyer movie, and I had watched this like during the pandemic, and given the time period that it was released, I kind of thought it was ahead of its time, and I was like amazed by that. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, like I really love old movies, like genuinely. Like that was my part of my childhood. I would watch a bunch of like usually they would be silly movies with my dad. I would watch. So we would watch like Jerry Lewis, Martin, Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy, they're in this movie. Judy Garland, Mickey Rooney, Rita Moreno, Natalie Wood, like we would watch a bunch of like stuff like that. Um and I genuinely loved that time. And I still watch old movies. I think now I watch more serious, more like mystery old like movies just to kind of like widen my horizon of old movies, but I've always loved them. I don't think I'll ever stop. Like 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, like they were for the most part really pure and innocent, which is probably why I really like them as me being like a clean writer. Um and also like since like those times were so like critical for like movies and TV, like they were playful with it too. Like they would make simple plots and yet be so entertaining. Like they were playing around with it, and I enjoyed like watching these movies. And like I'll sometimes watch videos on them or like see people like talk about them, and like they'll talk about like process and stuff like that, or if there was one, I don't know, some of them didn't have like what we have now, like storyboarding and like critical like boardroom meetings, writing meetings like that. Like some of them just was like, hey, I have this idea, I wrote it into a script, let's go, you know but yeah, it was like they were very like, I don't want to say like all the plots were simple, but most of them were simple, but yet they were fun and entertaining. So I really enjoy like the movies like that. This movie was a little bit more like articulate. Like definitely it's a movie that makes you think, but it's also like really funny. It's a drama comedy. Dramedy. It's like really funny. It has its moments, but it's also like it gets serious because of like the topics they're dealing with. Um so yeah. It's about like two lawyers. They're married, Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn, and you know, they have to separately work on a case, the same case. They're basically battling it out in the courtroom, and it's about like, it's basically the cases, was the woman right in, I don't even remember, like shooting her husband or something like that. She like shot him in the arm or something because she caught him in the act of having an affair. So and Katharine Hepburn's character turns it into a women's rights like court battle too. And then it like their court case like seeps into their home because they're like so consumed by the case, and also they're both working on the case. So it kind of like you kind of get to see them navigate that in the film, and I thought it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'd say definitely check it out. Um, it's one of my 4 favorites. So yeah, next movie we're gonna be talking about is Pride and Prejudice, 2005. This I had made a joke about reading this so many times, Pride and Prejudice, and reality I've only read it twice, but it's more than I've read any other book, so there you go. I genuinely love this adaptation. It felt very accurate. And yeah, I heard they're making like another one on Netflix, I think. Like I don't know if it's going to be a series or if it's going to be like another movie, but I feel like I can safely guarantee that it's probably not going to be good as this one. But yeah, I loved Kira Knightley, or I don't know how to say her name. I'm so sorry. Yeah, she was great. This was like kind of like enemies to lovers, like a safe, tame enemies to lovers, which I enjoyed. Um, and yeah, I just me personally, I love period pieces. I love the Victorian era, like specifically, like I'm very much in love with those like stories that talk about it. This is how like I bond with my mom. Like we watched like Downton Abbey, we watched Bridgerton, but like, you know, we had the censored version of Bridgerton, okay? Um and I really enjoyed, you know, this one and all those kinds of like stories, honestly. Period pieces, like they're fun. It transports you to another time. And I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I was born in a certain time." And they'll watch movies from that certain time or talking about that certain time. For sure. So I have 2 writing prompts for this. So one we're going to do now and then one we're going to do towards the end. Um, uh, in the middle of this, we're going to pause. We're going to do a writing prompt. So the prompt is rewrite an important scene from your favorite movie, but in the perspective of a non main character. It could be a villain or a bystander, or you could write in a completely new character into the scene. So I would say, yeah, if you want to do the writing prompts now, you pause it, do the writing prompt, come back if you want to do that, or you can just do all the writing prompts after the episode is over. It's up to you. But yeah, like I always say, like, you know, I have an Instagram for the podcast. So if you have stories, I would love to read them or poems or whatever from the writing prompts. Like, definitely find my podcast Instagram and send them my way. I would love to take a look at them. So yeah, we're gonna pause for a second. Okay, we're back. Hi, we're back. I hope you had fun doing the writing prompt for the first one of the day. Um, yeah. So now we're gonna do the second part of my top 4 favorites. So diving right in, we're gonna be talking about Culpa Mia. Okay, this is also another like book to movie adaptation. I didn't read the book because apparently it's spicy. Also, I watched this on VidAngel too. Um, because if you're new here, like I don't watch any like stuff that's has sex in it, basically. Or like crazy violence. I'll watch it on a censor service. So I'm not exposed. And it's called VidAngel, in case you wanted to look into it. I should be sponsored. I think VidAngel should sponsor me with the amount of times I've raved about them. Anyway, Culpa Mia, it's a Spanish movie. It translates to My Fault. It's a series. I might do a podcast episode on the series. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Um, yeah, this movie's in Spanish. Um, I loved I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, so anytime I get to see something with technically my home language, um I kind of enjoy that. So yeah. Um this is like the first movie is like kind of like a crime movie. And then the second and the third movie are more like less crime and more about the relationships, which is like okay, kind of. But yeah, this movie had a lot of action scenes. It's like very car heavy in the first one. In the second one, it's like less, like little less, and then the third one, there's like basically no awesome car scenes. Like I'm like, what happened? But yeah, and this is another thing if you don't know, I love Formula One. I love cars. So I obviously like I'm kind of drawn to this movie because it has like action scenes and car stuff and whatever. So yeah, this was a very like at least the first one. We're just strictly talking about the first one. Cool. This was very like a good like teen drama story. It was very strong. Um, and you know, yeah. um, yeah, like I said before, I didn't read the books. I didn't watch it like fully. Technically, I watched it with VidAngel because of the spice level. Um, but besides that, it was really good. Without that stuff, they also like they apparently made uh an English version of it or a London version. It's called My Fault London. It was I had seen it. Um, it was good. I wouldn't say it's as good as this like the Spanish version, but I think it kind of has its own like version of it, I guess. They did it like in a different way, which was cool. I think the people who had made it and the people who had acted in it, they didn't see the Spanish version of it at all. They had read the book and I think that was it. So I think that like helped them kind of make it their own, which I think that was smart. But I still think that Culpa Mia is better than the English version. So yeah. Um the fourth and final movie I'm gonna tell you about for my top four is Captain America Civil War. This is one of my favorite Marvel movies, like ever. It has like everyone that I love. Um, all the like superheroes I love. I had told a friend one time, and he knows this. He knows who he is. That if I'm watching this movie, it probably means I'm either really bored or I'm having a bad day. This is like ultimate comfort movie. I'm telling you. I am telling you, but I like genuinely like enjoy the movie. But like yeah, he'll like joke about like, "Oh my gosh, are you watching the movie?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine." So, yeah. But yeah, I feel like this movie particularly in the whole MCU like realm and also just like in film in general, this is like a great example of like a good transition movie. Um when it comes to like franchises. Um, because to be honest, it is kind of like a, a transition movie. They're like they've done a bunch of stuff like the Avengers and like it's kind of like what's gonna happen next. We're kind of being torn apart. There's new people, there's old people. Um, yeah. So I thought it was a good transition movie. And it had all my favorite superheroes in it. It had Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was introduced into the MCU, guys. I was like, yes. If you don't know, I'm like such a Spider-Man fanatic. I love Black Widow. I love Iron Man, Wanda. Like, the only the Russo brothers could direct like something like this, and they did. And now only the good Marvel movies are directed by the Russo brothers. Like, name another movie that was like after Endgame that wasn't like directed by the Russo brothers that wasn't good. Like those are the only good ones now, you know. Anyway, and we got Doomsday to look forward to, guys, and the new Spider-Man movie. So here we come. In like what? In a couple months? Yeah, we're good. So yeah, I mean, so this is the end of my four favorites. Like I said, these were all particularly like hand picked. Because I picked something from my favorite genres, each of my favorite dramas. So we got the old movies, the the drama, the period pieces, romance, cars, Spanish film, and superhero movies. So we got like handpicked from like all the genres that I like, um, which is why I picked them all. So yeah, this was very like strategically picked. Can't stress that enough. And of course, I have more favorite movies, but you know, these are just the ones that made it in, I guess. Um, but yeah, so um, I'm gonna give you another prompt. This is the last prompt of the day, I promise. So the last prompt is create a character that goes to visit all your favorite movies. Could be through a dream, could be through a TV, etc. A little backstory is that I had a mentor um, through a program or an organization called Right Girl. They're based in LA. And I don't even remember how I found this. Or no, it was my mom who found this. I didn't find this. She suggested that I join. It was during the pandemic, I think. So everything was virtually online anyway. So like, it was very like easy for me to be like, okay, like I just got to figure out the time zone differences because I'm not in the same time zone as LA. Um and yeah, it would like basically I think they meet like once a month. In case like for girls who are like I think it's like middle school to like high school, I believe. So girls who are in middle school to high school, if you're watching this, maybe look into it. They take people internationally, locally, nationally. So I'd say like look into that. They meet like I think they still do this. Because I'm not in the program anymore because I'm in college. But I kind of fizzled out of the program after COVID had happened and I was going out more to do school and other stuff. Yeah, they meet like once a month. It's usually about one specific type of writing. I know they do like a screenwriting month or like a poetry month or stuff like that. And they'll have people who are in those fields like give tips, little interviews, talks, stuff like that. It's a very good organization and program. Um, Yeah. So I had a mentor through that program. She was a screenwriter in LA. Her name is Jen, and she was my mentor for like I want to say 2 or 3 years through the program. And she gave me this prompt in high school actually. So shout out to her. But yeah, if you're a middle school, high school girl and you want to do like a program like that, I definitely suggest it. Um, make you can make some friends, you can learn from professionals and maybe even get in contact with these professionals to help you with whatever you're working on. So yeah, I definitely would suggest that. But anyway, so this was my top four favorites movies. Hope you enjoyed this episode and see you guys next time. Bye.